I don't think people grasp what the 49ers just did. So their defense just shut down a Hall of Fame quarterback as a number 1 seed on the road with probably the best wide receiver in the NFL and limited them to 1 touchdown. That touchdown happened on the first drive. They did not score again. That doesn't happen. And it was a historic performance, and I don't think we can appreciate it just yet just because it just happened, but I want to show you all the different things that DeMeco Ryans did. Great performance from Arik Armstead, Fred Warner, and they had some really key role players step up too. So, I mean, it was impressive, and I mean, there are so many superlatives that you can throw out there, but I want to get into what made this defense just dominate the Packers and how they were able to dominate the Packers. So you just saw Fred Warner make a tackle in the backfield, and I want to get to, later on, I'm going to get to how he was able to have so many one-on-ones. This play is kind of how the game went along. So Arik Armstead right here, who is just, I mean, he's honestly been one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL since he took over as a full-time starter. The numbers back that up. The eye test backs that up. He just walks back the right guard here. That shouldn't happen in the NFL. You shouldn't be able to walk a guy back like that. Obviously, his technique's great. He's super big, long, strong. But they don't get a stop on this play. And obviously, you see Dante Johnson miss a tackle there, and it leads to a big play. What you just saw on defense, that's not sustainable. You're not going to be able to move the ball like that. Armstead winning like that is sustainable, and that's why the 49ers were able to eventually shut down the Packers. It helps, again, when you have superstar players. Watch Fred Warner sniff out this screen. Beats the lineman, splits the difference, and then just buries Aaron Jones right there. So, yes, DeMeco Ryans deserves a lot of credit. He has some studs to work with, though, and I don't know if there's any bigger than 54 right here who just played his best game of the season. Picked a great time for his best game of the season, too. All right, so the Packers are driving here. It's a second drive. They already scored a touchdown. If they get points here, if they score here, it's probably, that's all she wrote. We're talking about free agency. We're talking about drafts. What are they going to do with Jimmy G in the offseason? But your superstar makes a play. Again, just the ground that he can cover is not normal for a linebacker. You can see just him make up the speed. And, of course, that little peanut punch there, punching the ball out, that was a game changer. That, honestly, this play right here saved the 49ers season. Kept them in it, made a one-score game, kept it a one-score game. And, I mean, it seems like he's been making plays like that all of his career, or for the most of his career. But we haven't really seen Warner be a playmaker in 2021. And this is what we were accustomed to seeing last year and in 2019. So, I mean, it was good to see Fred Warner have a Fred Warner type of game. All right, so Davante Adams, he was getting the best of them. He was beating Dante Johnson, K'Wan Williams on the first drive. And I don't know if DeMeco Ryans didn't want to tip his hand, but after that, he was like, all right, that's not happening again. So from here on out, they just started doubling Davante Adams. Here's Emmanuel Mosley. Here's Jimmy Ward. He's going to, and again, what they did pre-snap and post-snap really made Rodgers, it threw him off all game. And I don't know if he wasn't expecting that. I don't know if he was expecting them to just be static spot dropping to a spot, but Rodgers looked clueless at times, and that's not normal for a player of his caliber. So on this play, again, he's going to have Adams one-on-one, but you can see Ward walk over there. So there's two guys on him. And this happened a lot. So he has a low and inside. He has anything over the top. So he's bracketed right here. You can't do this if you don't have a superstar to patrol the middle of the field. So what Ryans really did was, all right, we're going to make you, if you're going to beat us, if you're going to score on us again, it's going to have to be with somebody besides number 17. The value of having a linebacker carry number 3 and just basically guard him one-on-one in the middle of the field, that cannot go unstated. I don't know how to quantify that, but it doesn't happen in the NFL. For most teams, if you do this, look, he's not worried about him. Tart is trying to guard anybody underneath. If you want to throw it down the field one-on-one, go for it. But, I mean, imagine any other team trying this. Just switch shoes here. If obviously it would be Kittle, but if you did this to Kyle Shanahan over and over again, he would make you pay for this. But when you have a linebacker like Fred Warner, it allows you to do so much on defense. And as you can see, throw it, go for it. And it didn't work. So I thought DeMeco did a really nice job of mixing up how he was going to double Adams. So it wasn't going to be always just with a safety. It wasn't always going to be with a linebacker. Here, it was a safety. So you can see he's over the top of Adams. They are not hiding this at all. I don't think Rodgers sees it. I think he probably just thinks he's going to stem somewhere else. But as you can see, the play itself out. Like, there's no hiding right there. They are, like, you are not going to beat us. Obviously, you can see it's third down. Throw the ball wherever you want to, but it's not going to this guy right here. And you see, like, he's kind of open, but 8 yards. This is a first down marker. You will give up any underneath throw, and then they will just rally to the ball and make a tackle. But again, he is not going to beat us. And I mean, it was just a really good, great game plan in that regard. Ends up with a sack because when you make Rodgers hold the ball, all game he was locked onto 17. And when his first read wasn't there, Rodgers got a little frazzled. I don't want to say this, but it seemed like he had no interest in getting hit. And maybe that had a lot to do with the cold. Maybe it had a lot to do with the sacks like that. But the pass rush was still the pass rush because they have a lot of good players up front. But I want to give credit to the back end more so than the pass rush. You can see Arden Key wins there. Ebukam wins there. So not even their 2 best rushers are winning in that situation. All right, so what Seth said as far as where the defensive tackles align, usually in a 1 technique is where they had their defensive tackle. So this is Armstead right here, and he would normally be shaded so he's a 2-eye right now, so on the eye of the offensive line in a 2 technique. Generally, he would probably be right around here. So what that does, it just forces this lineman right here to take another lateral step. What does that mean? Now, him taking a lateral step makes life difficult for him to get to Warner. All game, this is how the 49ers got one-on-ones with Fred Warner. This is why he was making so many plays in the backfield or at the line of scrimmage, because he was just triggering, beating the line to the spot, whoever was trying to block him to the spot. On this play, you can kind of see the domino effect of lining up in a 2-eye and how the rest of the offense was affected by that. So let it play. So you can see there, he has to go lateral. Almost his shoulders are nearly parallel to the sideline. So as you can see, Fred Warner is going to get a free run here. He's going to trigger and close. He sees this lineman, and he's going to help. As you can see, that allows him to come through. Dre Greenlaw has been playing his butt off the last few weeks. And you can see him cut inside of the blocker here, inside of the tight end. Another guy who's been, just honestly, I wish he should be getting a lot more credit than he's been getting. Emmanuel Mosley has been on one of their better run defenders since he came back in the Rams game. And he's just aggressive. He's fearless. And that's what you need at cornerback. But the domino effect throughout this play of just having a 2-eye as opposed to a 1 technique, he has to go lateral. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to be aggressive. And now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people at the line of scrimmage. That's not counting Azeez Al-Shire out here. So good luck. Like, what are you going to do against that? Against a team who has already been the best run defense in the NFL since the second half of the season. Like, comfortably, too. Just watch it play out here. And yeah, they're dominant. Here's another look at just the 2-eye. So again, the center has to step laterally, and it just makes life so much harder when you have to get back to 54 because one of those guys doing. You're just creating one-on-ones with your best player in the hole with a running back, and he's going to win that every time. And if he doesn't, all right, do it again. And that's what DeMeco Ryans was betting on, and the Packers didn't. Here's another double team on Davante Adams. So it's third down again, and it looks like they're going to bring pressure. And you're going to have one-on-one with Davante Adams. So what do they usually do? What do the Packers usually do on third down? And he's already beaten them on this route. So he's just going to run up and run a slant, generally speaking. So DeMeco Ryans is probably thinking that's the case. So what he's going to do is he's going to have Dre Greenlaw buzz out here and try to undercut the slant, potentially. And here's how it plays out. So again, a blitz look, and instead they're just bringing 4, and they're just going to play coverage behind it. So you have essentially 3 guys taking away him. And Again, throw it anywhere you want to, but it's not going to this guy. And you can see it play out. There's somebody, before we get to the catch there. So they have Greenlaw for the slant. Ward's probably going to drop for the deep. Dante Johnson's going to be running one-on-one, forcing him. So as you can see, based on his leverage, that jam with his left hand right there, I want you to go inside. I want you to funnel him to your help. So that's just good technique right there. He was outside of the first drive. He was very good. But you can see, give up the route underneath. Don't make the tackle initially, but this ends up being a punt. Yeah, just really impressive stuff all around, all game from these guys. And I don't think I've seen a performance like this from like wire to wire. Yes, the first drive was a touchdown, but it didn't seem like they were going to really be able to sustain what they were doing because of the adjustments. All right, and this is just another run play where he has to go lateral. I've showed it over and over, but I want to show you that it was working every time they did it. So, again, the 2-eye protects Warner, gives Warner essentially a free run in the backfield. Because there's I don't know if the Packers didn't make an adjustment. Usually this works against a zone team because they have to run lateral. Most of their steps are going to run lateral either direction. So, and not so much against a downhill team that's going to run whether it's power, whether it's duo. But, I mean, just time and time again, man, just nice little wrinkles and that the Packers failed to adjust. So why wouldn't you keep doing it? Good play calling right there by DeMeco. All right, for you to win big games, especially in the playoffs, your role players have to step up. The Packers are going to run max protection here. So they're going to leave a lot of these guys in the block. They're going to take a shot down the field, and essentially run the Julio route, run a blaze out with Davante Adams. He's going to run up, fake like he's running in, and then run out. It's essentially what I showed that Brandon Ayuk ran against the Cowboys last week. He just needs to hold up, and boy, did he ever. And he did a really good job as the game went along. So this play probably perfectly illustrates how his game went. It helps when you have this guy to beat max protection, but just watch the play, watch both guys. This is not an easy route to guard, and you don't see many corners hold up against that route. Was he aided by the conditions? Because you can see, Adams probably isn't able to cut as sharply as he normally would, but that's just great coverage right there. And again, you'll see from the back end, Bosa winning. So it's first down, and Packers wanted to take a shot. So first down to 2nd and 10, and that's how the 49ers were winning. They had the Packers in 2nd and long, 3rd and long, all second half. Watch Bosa off to the left here. There's nowhere to go. And that was the story, really, for much of the game. There's nowhere for him to throw the ball. Another play where they double Davante Adams to the bottom. It actually works out in their favor just because you get an extra person in the box, that extra person being Jimmy Ward, who was coming down to double Davante Adams, and the Packers throw a screen right into it. So sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. I would say more often than not, it's better to be lucky than good. And you can see why here. So whatever buttons DeMeco Ryans was pressing, they were working all game. And when you're rolling, you are rolling. And that's pretty much how this game played out. I don't know what else to say. It was as good as it gets. Good tackling, good fill. And again, the secondary, the support from the secondary in the running game was outstanding. All right, so Adams had already beaten them for a first down on this out route right here. And as you can see, Mosley's going to trigger. That is a big hit, especially in those conditions. Like, you have to feel those. You are going to feel those. So, again, 2nd and long. Just playing for the tendencies. If you want to throw, look who's on the outside. It's Randall Cobb, who's like 47 years old. You're probably not going to throw to him outside of the numbers, especially down the field. Mosley sees that, triggers on the throw, knocks Adams back. And then, again, it didn't result in a big play, but those plays do have a lasting effect. All right, this was the back shoulder target to Josh Norman, who came in off the bench cold and held his own. Who would have thought that we would be saying that based on how he played this season? But this is a DeMeco Ryans play right here. So the 49ers had already ran out of this blitz, so they have these two linebackers mugged up, and it appears like they are going to blitz. But it's called a coffee house stunt. He is going to try to cross the center's face. He is going to bluff like he's dropping into coverage, Why? Because there's going to be somebody else rushing from here, and that is going to take the attention of the running back. Once the running back declares, Fred Warner, after pausing, is going to, as I said, bluff, and then he's going to come free. So just watch it. It's a pretty thing as far as football-wise goes, and it usually works. Here's how it works out. Here's how it plays out. So it seems simple. It works, but you have K1 coming off the slot. He sees that, and he's probably thinking, all right, he's not coming. I'm going to go get the cornerback who is blitzing. Free rush. Rodgers knows it, has to get rid of it fast, and he misses. And that was, again, the story. Ryans was just one step ahead all game. All right, there's not a better play to illustrate Ryans being one step ahead all game than the final third down for the Packers. And this would be the last time they touch the ball. So third down, it's tied, and Rodgers is going to go for a home run here. If you watch this play out, so he's thinking he has a one-on-one deep with Davante Adams. He heaves it, and you can see receivers are open, and it falls incomplete. How does this play work? So if you remember the Cowboys, that fourth down conversion, DeMeco Ryans blitz the house, cover 0, and all you heard was, gutsy call, ballsy play, what a call. To me, this was more impressive than that cover 0. So you know that Rodgers, being Rodgers, he's going to be aggressive. What Ryans does here, and I believe he even goes on a quick count here. Yeah, so you can see the ball snapped on a quick count as they're still getting lined up. So Jimmy Ward, Jaquiski Tart, what about 8-9 yards off the ball? They are going to blitz from depth. He's coming off the edge. He's coming off the edge. This is a shot play. Why? Because he is going to chip Nick Bosa. He is probably going to chip Arden Key. So they want to throw the ball down the field. By these safeties blitzing from depth, Rodgers sees it. He probably saw Ward coming off the corner of his eye. When you see both their safeties, you're probably thinking, oh, I have one-on-one with my number one receiver against a backup cornerback. I'm going to take that. But those guys blitz. Linebacker, Talanoa Funga. So he's lined up at linebacker depth, and who knows if Rodgers notices this or not, but he's a safety, and we know that. So as soon as the ball is snapped, he gets his eyes to Davante Adams, and they're doubling him. So on the final play of the game, they're doubling him. It looks like I have 3 over 2, so he's not thinking that at all. He sees, all right, these guys are probably going to be locked up. Looks like the 49ers are a little, messed up on this side, but again, he's been locked into Rodgers has been locked into Adams all game. He was never looking for Allen Lazard on 3rd and freaking 11, 12, 13, whatever it was. So this feels like hindsight to say, why didn't you throw the ball to Allen Lazard on 3rd and 13 with the game on the line? Imagine going back to your coach and saying that. It just doesn't make sense. That's not what they were trying to do. They weren't doing it all game, so are they going to do it on 3rd and 13? But, the pressure look, the disguise to keep Rodgers off balance, there's really no better way to end it than this kind of design right here. They have their best corner on your number 2 receiver, and then we're just going to double him, double your best. This is very Bill Belichick-y from DeMeco Ryans all game, and I feel like this is as good of a resume builder as you can possibly find. Just a great game plan. I can't wait to see what he does against Matt Stafford.